Hey, this is the second devlog for Emo Ball. And for those of you who have no idea who I am or what Emo Ball is, I'm McJoeface. I'm a software developer, I like games. I've never made a game before, but sometime last year I got an itch to try making one. At the time I was super into a game called Towerfall. It was quick, competitive, addicting, the whole lot. I wanted to make something like that, something you could show a friend, just real quick, and then suddenly it's 2 hours later and you're starting another round, that kind of game. So I did some brainstorming, downloaded the Unity game engine, watched a couple tutorials, and started working on the greatest game the world will ever know, Emo Ball. A competitive, multiplayer game where you take the form of a human emotion with a unique ability and battle for control of the human psyche. Cool stuff, right? I think so. Essentially, all players will choose an emotion, aka class, then they'll use their emotion's unique ability and throw orb-like projectiles to get kills and be the last one standing. Quite a bit has changed since the last devlog, even some core mechanics and concepts, but we'll get to that. First, you'll notice that all of the UI has been updated, as well as some sprites and effects. And like I said, I have zero experience with art and animation and blah blah blah. So nothing is perfect, but with that considered, I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. For the big changes, we have to go back to the last version of Emo Ball, where each player would start as the same emotion, and there were also these class portals that could change your emotion when you walked through them. There was also these class-colored orbs. When you would throw a colored orb that matches your color emotion, a unique ability would trigger. However, as you can tell, this is a nightmare to explain, especially to new players, and the game just felt so messy. But you know what? This goes down in history because I think this is my very first experience with what they call feature creep. But anyways, it's safe to say that now my goal is to keep the game as easy to play and understand as possible. So say goodbye to the class portals, say goodbye to class-colored orbs, and say hello to choosing your class before you play, and simple ability cooldown bars. We all know what ability cooldown bars are. We all know what they do, how they work, blah blah blah. But something you don't know would be what the abilities actually are. So let's talk about that for a second. Fear has the ability to teleport. However, he will teleport back, so watch out for that. And I definitely wouldn't get too close to Courage. He'll just straight up knock you out. Then we have our Peace emotion. He'll take a more defensive role by creating a force field. Nothing can touch him while he's inside of his force field. And then lastly, we have Anger. He throws a fireball that, well, it goes boom. So I think I'm happy with this. Everything makes a lot of sense. Immediately, the game felt less cluttered, easier to understand, and the cherry on top of it all was that the new changes made room for some more fun mechanics. My brother, who's been helping me with the game, thought that removing the colored orbs and portals and all that stuff would make the game require less actual skill, and honestly, he was right. The game got simplified, but then there wasn't as many cool plays where, we'd stand up and we'd go, ah! You know what I'm talking about. But I think we're actually able to fix that by adding smaller mechanics, like a catch. You can now catch orbs, or we also added a fake throw, although it's not very convincing yet. I'll work on that. Alright, now one problem that I've had since the very beginning of development is level design. I want the game to feel like you're an actual emotion inside of the human psyche, right? But honestly, I don't know how to visualize that, let alone make art for it. So if you have any ideas for that, please let me know in the comments. I'm serious, actually. I'm desperate. But including that, there's still a lot left to do, actually. The game has been simplified, which is great. But I think now I can add more emotions, maybe sadness and joy, maybe as unlockable characters. I think that would be pretty cool. Another thing I'd like to add is AI, computer players, so that you could play the game solo or just have bigger brawls in general. AI doesn't sound easy to program though, so no promises, but I will certainly try. And one important thing for the game would be to have a tutorial, and maybe even a place in mid-game to check what your ability does, but not sure about that one. Well, that's everything Emo Ball for now. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'd love to hear any thoughts or ideas that you have. Drop them in the comments, leave a like, a subscribe. Game dev has been so fun for me, but even still, it takes hours of hard work, and any interest in the game helps me keep motivated. So thanks for watching, and until next time.